bit about how I came to know Norwex. A client, believe it or not, someone I cleaned for, left me three cloths. She left me a dust mitt, an enviro cloth, and a window cloth, and she said, "Kari, I think you're gonna love these. Just clean with water." And I was like, "No way!" But like my sister likes to say, by the end, because my sister was with me that day, by the end of the day, I was like a kid in the candy store. I was just blown away at how well these cloths work. And you have to understand, like, this is something that I've been doing my entire life, and I love to clean. I love the cleaning aisle. I love everything about clean, and I couldn't believe how well these cloths worked. And I was like, I have to have more of these. You need to tell me where you got these from. I had a party. I got a bunch of stuff. The lady was like, "You could sell this." I was like, "No way. I'm too busy." Because I was cleaning 6 days a week at that time. But it just kept rolling around in my mind. And I knew I had to have more product. So 6 months later, I decided to join. And here I am 6 years later, still enjoying this journey of using this product. I can't even imagine cleaning anymore without Norwex. There's just no way I would ever want to do it. First of all, because my health is better, and second of all, because like it works. I probably couldn't clean a sink without an enviro cloth. So I'm going to give you a couple of really good tips. Is to have a basic package in every bathroom. I have a basic package that hangs on the door in each of my bathrooms. You can get, the color to coordinate to that bathroom. So that's my first tip for the bathroom. It's to have a basic package in every bathroom. This is really quick cleanup. This sink hasn't been cleaned in a couple of days, so I'm going to use a lot of water. Now, some mornings I don't have to do that. If I've cleaned it in, every day, I don't necessarily have to use that much water to get the toothpaste and whatever else and hair and whatever else. You guys know it depends on your level of clean, right? So I'm just going to use water. That's it. I don't use any chemicals. I don't use any wipes. You can use wipes if you really want to, but do you really want to leave behind that chemical residue? Or would you rather just leave nothing behind? Because think about this. If you are leaving a chemical residue behind, you're leaving something behind for the dirt that's in the air, because there's always dirt that's flying around in the air to stick to. And then when you do that, it's just going to get dirtier quicker. So you don't want to do that. All right. So this is how I clean up the the sink. Then I'll hit the mirror. Now, lots of times when I get out of the shower, the first thing I do with the mirror is I hit the mirror right away with my window cloth, because it has steam on it. So that's the quickest way to keep up with your glass, is to just have this hanging right in the bathroom. Okay, so that's the sink. The shower, I do the shower before as soon as I shut the water off, the walls are still wet. I grab this. This hangs on a command hook here in the back of my shower. It does not get wet. It's dry. So I'm going to take it when I'm still in the shower, water's off, walls are wet. This scrubby side, I'm going to scrub down the whole entire shower because it's nice and scrubby, but it's not going to scratch it, right? And then I'm going to flip it over. See how thick and plush that is? Really thick and plush, holds up to 7 times its weight in water. I'm going to dry the whole entire shower and I'm done. That's what I do. You can do it every day. I wish I was that good in my younger years. I was. I'm not now. But 3 days a week, really, you can really keep up with your shower and keep all that hard water off of the walls and everything. Like soap scum, if you have people that still use soap. I don't, but I still have a husband that does. All right, another product that I love in the bathrooms is descaler. Descaler maybe once a month in your home. I use this on a daily because I clean homes once a month. Usually, most of my customers are once a month. I have a few that are once a week, but most of them are once a month at this point. I did look up some things about that I wanted to share with you about descaler. So it has a chelator, which helps. I'm probably not even saying that right, but it helps to bind and remove unwanted minerals and metals from the surfaces, keeping them clean and preventing them from causing stains and buildup. This stuff works better than any hard water remover that I ever used. It doesn't burn your skin, it doesn't burn your lungs, and it doesn't cause you, it doesn't put harmful chemicals out into the environment that are going to harm the environment or anyone else. You don't have to worry about, your kids or your pets getting into it. It helps to remove and dissolve mineral deposits like limescale or hard water stains. And the surfactants in it help to lower the surface tension of the liquid, allowing it to spread more easily and effectively and mix with some substances so that it will dissolve the dirt. This stuff works better than anything I've ever used in my life. The other thing I like in the bathroom is the bathroom cleaner, and that I would use like right here. So this spot really needs to happen. Do you see this? How this water stain gets here from just like, the water kind of sliding around there. So I'll just leave that there for a couple of minutes. Then I'll use this. This is great too for your for your drains, get in there and get all that grossness out of there. I keep one of these utility brushes in the kitchen and in the bathroom. My husband has one in the garage. I have one in my cleaning bucket. All right, next we're going to move on to the toilet. So the shower's done before I even get out. That gets done next, and then the toilet. I keep a mini EnviroCloth in the bathroom for the toilet. First place I'm going to start, typically, like I said, I'm doing this in the morning as soon as I get out of the shower. Everything's covered with a little bit of dampness, so I don't even have to get this cloth wet. I just hit this, then I hit this, then I open it up, I hit this. It's all damp, so it's gonna get clean. Then I'm just throwing this right in the wash. I use this toilet bowl brush because you put the bathroom cleaner right in here. Take this little top off, put the bathroom cleaner in it, fill it up. See the little window? Then you're just gonna push. You just get a little tiny bit in there. And then you just clean your toilet. I usually don't even flush it. I just leave the vacuum cleaner right in there so that it gives it a little bit of disinfectant. Now this is made with citric acid, not like your typical toilet bowl cleaner, which is going to be made with chemicals that take 48 days to break down in the environment. This only takes 48 hours to break down in the environment, and you're not harming the fish and the aquatic life when you use that. Okay, so that is the bathroom. Quick and easy, guys. Simple, done. If you have a big floor, you can use the mop. I don't have a big floor, so I don't typically do that. Dust control in the house. Who has pets? I have pets. Insane. Lots and lots of dust in our house. So these are our favorite tools. The mop. I have to use this on the daily. The Enviro wand. This was a must. When I first joined, this was one of the very first things that I had to have. Not even joined. No, that was my first party. I saw this in the catalog and I was like, I have to have that thing because I was out buying those. When you clean a home, you have to go around and, get the cobwebs, right? And clean the ceiling fans. So I was buying those cheap things that you buy like at Home Depot, right? And they're like a microfiber, but they're not a fiber. They're more like, I never can think of how to say it, like strands, and they're plastic and they get stuck in things. So if I was doing like a wood ceiling, it would get stuck in the wood ceiling and have these little yellow fibers all over the place. This never ever does that. The other great thing about this is that this sleeve comes right off, so I can just throw it in the wash. I have used this to clean a garage. Do you know how gross garages are with their, just the dirt and the cobwebs are beyond belief. I'll clean a garage and then rubber brush this out and I'm done. And I can, just throw this in the washer and then, use it the next day to clean the house. This is fantastic because I can go around and do all of this super quick. Do all these little, what do you call them? Baseboards. Hit the fan, hit the ceiling fan really quick. Dusting, guys, can be like a 15-minute task in your home, depending on the size of it, obviously. If you have a big house, then maybe not. But this is the first thing I do. When I go into a clean house, the very first thing I do is do all dusting, because you want to get all of the dust down and out. So when you're going to go to clean your own house, when you do that deep clean, how many of you have printed off the PDF? How many of you have gotten the PDF, printed it off, and actually done the work? Tell me in the comments. I don't know if I'll ever be able to see them, but I still want to know if you've actually gotten the PDF, because that's going to help you to create a plan to create some success in your own home. All right, so that's the Enviro one. That's what I would do with that. Do you guys know how to get this off the right way? Do you see how you just put your two fingers like that, push down, twist, pull up? If you don't know that little trick, I didn't know that little trick for a long time, and it was a pain. So it's really nice to know that little trick. All right, so I'm gonna put the mop back on. I'm gonna grab this stuff. We're gonna go out in the other part of the house. Okay, so my other favorite tool is the mini Enviro one. I love this thing. You have to have this thing. Okay, it makes life so easy and so quick. These little spots here, very, very hard to get, but you can quickly and easily do these with this. If I have, just a few minutes in the morning to dust, I only dust once a week. I can only dust once a week. I just don't have time to dust, every single day. Are you kidding? I could dust every day because my animals are like unbelievable, but I don't need to. I just can't. I'm not gonna. But like crevices like that, easy to get at with this because it's got those nubs on it, so it gets right in there and gets those. Much better than having to grab your EnviroCloth and get at it with. You would still miss like this corner if you used your EnviroCloth, but with this, you can just hit it really good and it comes clean. All right, so that's the mini Enviro one. Fantastic tool. Next is the dust mitt. So the dust mitt is great. Favorite thing for the dust mitt would be screens. If you use this wet, you can clean your screens. Obviously, I'm not doing that tonight because it's too cold. But another favorite feature of it is the fact that it does not fall off your hand. If you have leather furniture and you've ever tried to clean it with just a cloth, it will just fall off your hand. It's annoying, right? The dust mitt doesn't do that. It's fantastic because you can just go right down in here, go right out there, and it's all good. You can get this wet if you need to, which I often do in homes where there's little kids and there's more than just dust. There's a lot of food particles and stuff. The rubber brush. I know it's not what I was supposed to talk about, but today I was like, the rubber brush is a great tool for dusting because you have furniture, right? And if you have dogs like I do, you need to have a way to finish off the furniture. I just dusted half of it. Now I'm going to finish it, right, with the rubber brush. So that's one that I wasn't supposed to talk about, but I chose to anyway. The mop. The mop is fantastic, not just for floors. And around here, I have to dust mop every single day. I do not wet mop every day. I cannot do it. It's too exhausting. But another thing that I love about this mop is I love that I can do my walls and ceilings. Do you know how many cobwebs are on the ceiling? I bet you don't. You'd be surprised. Get up there on a stool and change your smoke detector batteries and take a look at how bad your ceiling is. Because that's usually when I see it, when I'm cleaning people's houses. I have this one client and she's like, she has me change her batteries. And I clean her house every week. And I'm like, oh my gosh, look at all the cobwebs that I'm missing up here. And so I grab my mop and I just, look how it gets the top of that sill. You are not getting the top of that sill any other time. And with anything else. And certainly not with any other mop that you're going to use. All right, so this floor has not been, now this floor was vacuumed and mopped on Saturday. So I'm going to show you how much dirt and dust my four-legged friends bring in. I have two of them, a long-haired German Shepherd and a pit bull mix. And it is March here in upstate New York, so they're starting to shed. So we've got quite a bit of hair going on. All right. Yeah, they make a mess. So thank goodness for the rubber brush so I can clean that off, which I am actually not going to do right now because I want to keep moving. I'm gonna mop the floor next. So this is fantastic because mopping is super simple and easy with just water. I don't have to worry about, okay, so I have a sister-in-law who has twins and she bought the mop and she said to me, I never could mop my floors before because the kids were always around my feet. And now that I have the Norwex mop, I don't have to worry about it because it's just water. I'm not worrying about getting bleach or Mr. Clean or something on the floor for them, for them to walk around in. So I highly recommend getting one of these mops, guys, to everybody because it's versatile. It's not just a great mop, it's also extremely versatile. You can clean all your ceilings, all your walls in like no time flat. Have you ever tried that? I mean, I know we got a lot of Norwex consultants in here, but I bet you even some of the Norwex consultants haven't tried that. All right, so that's the dusting. So that really, guys, maybe hit your floors once or twice a week. The dusting, give yourself a break and just do it once a week. And if you don't have pets, you can even probably get away with it once a month. I have a customer who, she has a glass coffee table. Prior to Norwex, I had to dust that coffee table every single week. After Norwex, I only have to dust it once a month because I really believe it's because I'm actually removing the dirt and the bacteria from the surface. I'm not leaving anything behind. And I'm really removing more of the dirt and the bacteria from the home than I ever was before. So just a testimony that I share that story in every single party that I do because it always blows my mind at how quick it is, at how good it works. All right. Let's see. All right, so Norwex in the kitchen. I don't use anything in my kitchen except water and a cloth. So you can see the front of my stove here. I have a wet kitchen cloth pretty much all the time, a dry kitchen cloth, and a big towel. I always have the Chanel hand towels and the veggie cloth here. I start cleaning my counters from the moment I get out of bed. I mean, I make the coffee, I spill water. I make my husband's coffee, I spill sugar. I make my own coffee. I spill collagen. Okay, so I'm using this at least 50 to 100 times a day. All right. So you got to have kitchen cloths. There's just no way around it. The next tool that I love in the kitchen is the netted dishcloth. Now, this is the full size netted dishcloth. I don't use it full size. I do have a full size for like potato scraps and grapes and things like that, but I cut it and I use it this size. And I have the Enviro sponge. Now this, guys, is like a year old. Still works great. It's a little flimsy now, but it's still really well put together, right? I just throw it in the dishwasher once or twice a week. Soak it maybe in a little bit of laundry detergent if if it gets really funky, but it never smells. I mean, it's mind blowing. All right, so a couple of tools that I decided to talk about. One was the Biozyme because I really love the Biozyme. You ever seen that commercial of the stuff that they spray on and you just watch the grease just come off? Well, that's kind of what this does. It's a 100% biodegradable. That is one of our bio-based. Maybe it's bio-based. Am I saying it right? Look in the catalog. That'll give you the best. I think it's bio-based. I think I'm saying it wrong. But I don't like to wash dishes, so I'm typically just going to use that. And then I'm just going to quick rinse them and throw them in the dishwasher. That's typically what I do. Eventually, I'm going to get a dishwasher that I never have to rinse anything ever again. But as of right now, this is where we're at. So this is what I do. And they come out absolutely perfect. So the dishwasher detergent, prior to Norwex, I was using, the really expensive platinum stuff. I'm not going to say the name, but that you get in the store. And I always felt so guilty. And so then when I joined Norwex and they came out with the Ultrazyme, I started to use that. Now, I cannot use the Ultrazyme without the Rinse Aid Plus. I will tell you, you have to have the Rinse Aid Plus. This will last a long time though, because you really only have to fill up your dispenser, your Rinse Aid dispenser, and then I don't know, once a month, check it and refill it. So I highly recommend trying that. I only need like a teeny tiny, I only use like, this is the scoop that comes with it, and I only really use about a third of it. That's about all I use. So this lasts me a really, a very long time. And I do dishes. I probably run the dishwasher once a day or every other day. All right. So next would be the Sperry sponge. This is why, okay, so this is where I keep all my kitchen stuff. Now I have everything, but I decided to just narrow it down and only talk about a couple things. The Sperry sponge, really important in my kitchen because it's the only thing that cleans these racks. I use these racks almost every single day. I use them for I like to make fish I have the Pampered Chef air fryer. So they get, do you see these things? It gets like food on it, right? Now I cannot get it off with anything except the Sperry sponge. The other thing this rack is really great for is bacon. So people will tell me, well, I can't give up paper towels because I have to use the bake, because I need something for bacon. That is not true. You just put a rack on a plate, you put your bacon on it, you're all good to go. All right. So another thing that I love the netted dishcloth or the Sperry sponge for, mostly the netted dishcloth, is like this pan here. This is another Pampered Chef item. Oops, sorry. This is chicken. You see how it's like, I cooked chicken last night. Now I left this soaking. I left this on purpose because I wanted to show you how the netted dishcloth just like takes it right out of there. Gets it right off. I can't use any soap on this. So I'm just going to use the netted dishcloth and that's it, because you can't use soap on this stoneware. But if I use like a sponge, like a typical sponge from the store, it would get all gunky in that sponge and that would be gross and I want to throw it away. But with this, I'm just going to rinse it under hot running water and it's just going to come right out. I can throw it in the dishwasher if I want to. So the netted dishcloth is a must have in the kitchen, in my opinion. And so then with the sponge, typically I won't in this, but outside I will wipe it down because I want that grease off and the sponge will take it off. So I'll use this a lot for a lot of dishes. And sometimes wiping the counters, but like I said, I like to have the kitchen cloth available for that. I only really have to wash my kitchen cloths about once a week and they get a lot of action. So I don't, it cuts down on the amount of laundry because prior to Norwex, I was always using just cotton cloths. In fact, this is what I used to go to work with every single day. This bag right here, I would come home. This is when I cleaned 3 to 5 houses in a day. I would go to work with a bag like this and I would come home and I would have to wash a bag like this every single day of cotton cloths. I don't have to do that anymore. This is now my Norwex bucket, fully Norwexed, all kinds of, this will last me more than a week, all of this stuff, because I can clean a whole entire house. Really, at this point in my career, I know what I'm doing. I can clean a whole house with 2 cloths. I go in, I start in the kitchen, then I dust, then I go to the bathrooms, and I hit the toilets last, and I'm done. So I use 2 cloths to clean the whole entire house. Okay, did I hit everything? Let me check my notes. All right, guys. Is there anything I missed? I think I got it all. All right. Do the PDF, guys, because that has nothing to do with Norwex. The PDF is going to help you get to the bottom of your personal journey. This is personalized for you because everybody has a different situation. Like maybe you have 8 kids. Maybe you live by yourself. Maybe you have 5 dogs. Maybe you only have a cat. I don't know what your situation is, but I can promise you that the questions in here are going to help you get to the bottom of it. And they're going to help you with your level of dirt, your level of what, I clean so many homes, and some people are super, like, they want every speck of dust off the floor, and other people are just happy that I came in and cleaned the bathrooms. So you just don't know. I don't know where you're at, but this